Hey traders, John Howell here. Let's have a look at what's happened, or the market just closed recently. So let's go across all the markets and see what's going on right now, what's happened this week, and what we could expecting seeing moving forward. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into the markets with what's going on right now. But the first thing I do say, guys, is that it's so important that if you are trading the markets right now, that you're using a system and you're using an approach, and not looking at my YouTube videos or anyone's YouTube videos for a quick tip and a quick little thing, right? The thing is that successful trading is done on the basis of having a system and have an approach, right? So when I'm actually trading the markets, right now I'm doing a market update for you, right? Bam, 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 market update, Dow Jones, S&P, Nasdaq, Russell, here we go, right? So we're gonna do all that sort of stuff. But then what happens is that when I'm actually trading the markets, I'm just looking for the same pattern every single day, right? It's not like, well, I'm going to short the market right now, I'm going to buy the market right now. Like, no, there's long setups and there's short setups, right? And so it's really important that you understand what goes into a high quality setup. And if you do need help with that, right? If you do need help understanding a setup, you do need some coaching, and so on and so forth. I'm actually giving away a 30-day trial to test out my entire coaching program. I've been running that. So the very first link in the description there, guys, click on that. Make sure you can go get access to that. And I guarantee you'll make more progress in the first 4 weeks of joining my coaching program that you can try out for 30 days, risk-free trial, than you have in the last 4 years. I promise you that, because then the light bulbs will start to go off in your mind. So let's go have a look at the good old Dow Jones, and we'll start looking at all these indices through here. So the good old DJ, what happened with the good old DJ? You can see we actually had a bit of an open high here, and came down and sort of closed low through there. If I'm looking at sort of support and resistance levels, we can definitely see that the Dow Jones has actually been quite a difficult one to get in support and resistance, because you can see we actually had a move up, a little bit of a pullback, and then a break back above, and now we're failing through here. So this could be ready for that pullback that I've been looking for on the Dow Jones. So not really much going on there from that perspective there. You can see how that it definitely, we broke up, and now we're coming back down to this level of sort of support level through here. Now, what actually happens is that if this does indeed become a level of support, then what's probably going to happen is we're going to start to see a really nice bounce from here. If we don't, then we're probably going to see that big pullback. But the Dow Jones is not oversold, it's not overbought, it's still in pretty good territory. So we really haven't gotten any good sort of signs for it. Now, flipping over now to the S&P 500, and you can see what the S&P 500 did, right? It opened high, came down, and closed low as well too. Now we're at these couple of levels here of resistance in the markets. I still am expecting to see that level pullback through there, and we can see that we've actually got, you can see in the past, right, and the reason why I've got that line where it is right there, maybe even a bit higher, slightly a bit higher, probably somewhere through there, I would say, maybe even a slightly bit higher, maybe even somewhere through there. You can see how that we have indeed actually found a lot of support levels through here, support through here, and resistance through here as well too. So if we do get a little bit more upside, we're probably going to get a little bit more upside to here, but then that's probably going to be the sort of the end of this move before we see a pullback here. Okay, I'm seeing some people in the comment section say this guy's an idiot, we're not going to see a pullback. And the thing is, guys, is that you must understand market. Show me any chart that's just done that without any pullback. It just doesn't happen, right? Because let's actually just look at the reality of markets itself. We go for a move, and then we go for pullbacks. So a lot of the amateurs right now are probably getting in right now because they don't understand how the fundamental laws of how markets work. How do they work? They go for a move, they go for a pullback, they go for a move, they go for a pullback, they go for a move, they go for a pullback, they go for a move, and then a pullback, right? So that's what we're probably likely to expect from there. So if we do have if I'm going to draw some sort of a trend line, if this is the start of the pullback, if it is, now, by the way, guys, I must say this here. I must sort of bring this here, right? I actually did a video, and the video is right here, right? So this is my YouTube channel, and I did a video 1 month ago saying that I'm actually expecting the S&P all-time highs is coming. So I'm actually expecting to see all-time highs coming out of the S&P, right? And then if I actually click on this here, let me bring. All right, and then so we can see the S&P 500. Well, that was the Nasdaq. Actually, the Nasdaq was where was the Nasdaq at that time? 12,500. S&P 500 was 4,100 something, as you can see, right? So as you can see that the S&P 4,100 something. So the S&P was at that level there, and I said we're probably going to experience new highs. So I'm actually expecting to see by the end of this year all-time new highs. I actually did a video, as you can see, I did a video a month ago saying that I'm actually expecting all-time highs to come out of the S&P. I just didn't expect it to see a big move like this come out of it. So for people are saying, oh, this guy's been wrong and he has no idea what he's talking about. Firstly, you guys would know, right? Back here, I was saying get ready for another leg to the upside. It's only been the last week, probably the last week, especially out of the Nasdaq charts. The S&P has been a bit iffy, but the Nasdaq chart for last week, I've been saying get ready for that pullback. It's a bit of a warning sign, right? And so by looking at that and by looking at the S&P, if I'm actually going to draw a trend line, I'd have to use this low point through here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to draw a trend line to say, okay, if the market or when the market does start to pull back, right, and we could actually be seeing this could be the pullback here, where could it actually pull back to, right? And we actually could get a pullback towards these levels through here. And looking at what we're seeing through here now, we definitely have a lot of support and resistance. We definitely had a lot of support and resistance all through there as well, right? So, but we could even see a pullback towards, like if we're looking at Fibonacci levels, right? That whole level through there, 444, right? Oh, I'm getting the 444s everywhere, I tell you. So it seems like this whole, see, this is the 50 to 60% level through here, guys. See that level through there? So that's where, if the market does peak out here, again, we could get a little bit more movement to the upside. But guys, we're getting towards the end of this leg up, okay? And you don't want to be trying to sort of, again, fight it or do anything like that. This is where the 50% level. So if this is the start of the pullback, okay? Again, I'm just expecting a pullback. All right, I'm just expecting a pullback and then a race to new highs. I am expecting new highs. I just don't know when the pullback's going to start. If it is going to start now, but I'm expecting through the rest of this month, through June and then July, I am expecting to see the market actually softening a bit. Okay, so from there, and if we have a look at, say, let's go look at this chart here, and again, that's where the market is there. But if we have a look at, again, let's look at the charts that have the maximum distance away from the moving average, right? Because this actually could give us a bit of an alert of, right, a bit of an alert of where we could actually start to, right? So we can get, so that was sort of maximum distance away there. You can see how we get sort of a maximum distance away from the moving average before we get a pullback to the moving average, right? And this is where people say, oh, the market's just going to keep going up. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. If it does, then expect a massive, massive crash at it, right? So that was sort of the maximum distance away from there. Sort of the same there. We actually had a lot. This one here was very, very, very overextended, as you can see, right? That was sort of the biggest one there. But the average, as you can see, right? The average, apart from this one here, the average distance away, even the last couple of times, right, has been like, I'd have to say that level through there. See that level through there, right? That through there. That was actually a bit higher than that one there. So that was a bit higher there. And as you can see, right, sort of same sort of thing, right, maximum distance away. Now the reason why that's important is because once it gets to the maximum distance away from the moving average, what is that now? That is now what? oversold. Now, again, guys, that very first thing in the description there, click on that, go get 30-day access to my coaching program, and you'll see one of the reasons why I use the 52, this is a 52 moving average, why I use the 52 moving average, and why in the trading system, we always wait for a movement back to the moving average first before. I have 4 different rules. And rule number 2 is all about the moving average. And it's all about the trend of the moving average and the market being close to the moving average. Because if we're too far above or too far below, guess what? We're now in the overbought up here and then the oversold levels before we get a pullback to the moving average. So if we have a look at that through there, so that's that sort of maximum distance away from there to there. Look where we are right now. Right? We're getting almost to the maximum distance away that it's been in the past, as you can see, from there to there, right, in the past, before we actually found what? Before we found a little bit of a pause, because the market goes through different phases, right? We go through a moving phase, and then we go through a pullback phase. We go through a moving phase, we go through a pullback phase. How do we know when the moving phase is getting too extended? We've done too much price. Well, we actually can see how it actually gets too far away from the moving average from there. So that along there, guys, okay, we see that through there. But then when I bring up this chart here, again, we're too far away from the moving average, but let me bring up another chart now without the moving average once again. And now look what we see through here, right? We see through this. So again, we could actually get just a little bit more push to the upside, but guys, we have probably just a little bit more upside. We're already too far away from that moving average, as you can see. So we're already getting too overextended. We just need a little bit of a pullback, maybe a little bit of a resting phase for a few weeks or so. And then guess what? We'll probably have another big move to the upside. All-time new highs is coming, I believe anyway, out of that level through there. But so that's what I'm seeing through there on the S&P 500. Let's go look at the Nasdaq 100 chart. Okay, the Nasdaq 100, and this is actually like this is just absolutely just crazy, right? Look at this Nasdaq 100 chart. Like, look how vertical that move is. Look how vertical this vertical move here. So if I'm actually looking at the times where the market has gone, like, we've had no pullback at all. You know, look at this back here. So at least back here in COVID, we had a little pullback. We had a little pullback. There's actually been nothing through here, right? So this is warning. This right now is a big, massive warning sign, right? And this is why I've been saying I haven't actually got the top right in the last week or so of saying the market's going to reverse. I don't know exactly when the top's going to be. But guess what? It's coming, and people are trying to buy the market now, thinking we're going to see an explosion to the upside. I wouldn't be betting on that, guys. Okay, I wouldn't be betting on that. Okay, in the next 30 days, you watch. The next 30 days, 30 or so days, we're going to see probably a really big pullback out of the markets. And so you can see, look at this here, just a really big move to the upside. So if we have a look at this level through here, the reason why I've got this line through here is because, well, firstly, if I bring this up through here, when the market does start the pullback, we're probably likely to say a bit of a pullback towards this moving average, which would be in line with what we're talking about here. So if let's actually do this here. So if I create another parallel trend line and we create this high point, look what happened through there. Okay, cool. All right. So now I've actually just identified that. Let me move this out of the way here for a minute. Now I've identified this, and we're at this level. This is actually a strong level of resistance on the Nasdaq 100. Look at this here, back resistance here, and we're at this resistance here, and we were in this channel, and now look, it broke back up to the upside, right? So what tends to happen with these channels is we have false breakouts of channels as well too. So what tends to happen here is this, right? If this is the false breakout, and again, that's the resistance line there. If indeed we do start to get some sort of movement back into this channel like that through there, get back into it, then we're likely to make our way back down to at least the bottom of the channel before we bounce again, okay? So that's probably what we're likely to see I would say over the next week or two. We're probably likely to see a really big sell-off coming out of the markets through now. Out of the markets moving into next week. So this is where we are right now. Looking at there, we are in a channel here. This complete movement to the upside. If we do get back below here, which we're likely to do, then we'll likely get a pullback to at least, I'd say, likely get pullback down to this level through here. Now, if I bring on my moving average, right? And again, I use the reason why I got this line through here. Look at this here. See how that's the maximum? Like that was a big overstretch before what we got to pull back through there. That one's this one here was the maximum there. This one here was half the size of the maximum. This one here was a little bit less. This one here was a little bit less. This one here. So you can see the average is actually about half the bar, half the size of this before what? Before we get a pullback. This is sort of half the size of the bar, right? Before we get a pullback. And this is pretty much almost there before we got the pullback. This one here, half the size. This one here was pretty much full size, right? From there to there, that was the distance before we got a pullback. If we have a look at this level from here to here, right? Pretty much the same sort of thing from there to there. But look where we are right now. That's the moving average. Look where we are right now. The maximum distance away from there to there, right, was there to there. Now remember, this one right here was the biggest one. This one here was only half the size of the bar. This one here was 3/4, half size, if you know what I mean, right? Before it actually what? Before we got the pullback. So me saying that, look where we are right now, right? Look where we are right now, out of the moving average. We're actually the furthest it's been away from the moving average. So for you guys that are jumping on the Nasdaq right now saying, here we go. Oh, no. Run. Not yet, right? Not yet. It's again, especially in the Nasdaq, it's the cycle analysis. We're at this level here, so we're probably likely to get a pullback. That's the furthest all this line is. It's not to say where the market's going to go. All this line is just to represent that it's the maximum distance away before we actually what? Before we get a pullback. Look at it back here, right? We pretty much got the exact same level before what? Before we got a pullback to the moving average. This one's likely to get a pullback to the moving average and probably even overshoot as well. If we look at, say, Fibonacci levels from the low to the high point, from where it is now, we can see here that this whole level through here is the 50 to 60% level all through there. Now, really interesting, right? That if this is the top now, which again, who knows when the top's going to be in, but we're very, very close to that now. If this is the top, remember I said before, the first thing is that if we do get a false breakout, so this is a breakout out of the channel. If we do get back into the channel, right, then we'll likely get a pullback to where? To the bottom of the channel. Now, isn't that interesting that the 50% level is also at the bottom of the channel and also there? Now, guys, remember I said before, right? This is just the what? This is just a nice, healthy, strong pullback out of the markets, right? So we can see, look at this here, right? So all we're talking about is just right. So all we're talking about is just that through there, and we're just talking about just a nice healthy pullback before what? Before we get going again. And that's all this is just a nice healthy pullback out of that level through there, on the Nasdaq through there. So they are the biggest things there, guys. And again, all I'm looking at, guys, is how markets work and how the cycles work with that. And again, guys, make sure you click on that link in the description there, guys. Go get 30 days. Go get that 30-day access to try out my top level coaching program, 30 days risk free, and you'll be able to learn all the details to my trading system. And you can see the reason why the best type of trades are when. The best type of trades is when we had a move up and we get a pullback to the moving average and we get going again, right? This is the best time to be looking for a trade. Pull back to the moving average, this is the best time to be looking for a trade, right? And again, you'll be able to see all the details in that coaching program. So go get access to the coaching program, learn my trading system, get my coaching, test it all out for 30 days. First thing in the description there, guys. I promise you'll make more progress in the next 4 weeks of your 30-day trial than you have in the last 4 years. I promise you that. Otherwise, just let me know and you'll never be billed. So that all the risk is on my shoulders here when it comes to that program there. So that's what we're looking at there when it comes to the Nasdaq chart. Now, I'm gonna walk you through, guys, some individual stocks, right? So this is all what's happening now in these markets. So get ready for some really good pullbacks out of the markets. Again, we're right at the level of resistance here. Wouldn't surprise me there. But if we go through some individual stocks here, right? The individual stocks in the markets there then what we can see is again, let's go through let's just go through some of these stocks here. So let's actually start off with, say, Apple. All right, Apple. Look at Apple. Apple has done what? Apple has broke above the highs. So that this here was the ultimate high point, right? And then now we've actually also got this trend line. I know a lot of traders have been focusing on this trend line here, right? And this has been up and up and up and up and up. But one thing that's really important to understand is that, look at this here. If I squeeze my charts up, the last time we went sort of vertical like this here was sort of back here, right? But this one here was a lot more vertical, but we still got what? This one here was vertical, and we still got what? A pullback to the moving average, and then we went vertical again. Now, this is obviously through COVID, right? I actually bought Apple down here. I didn't ride it all the way out, but looking back now. Anyway, so we could see it through there, right? So what's probably likely to happen here with, what's this likely to be? A complete and utter false breakout. Complete and utter false breakout to the upside. Last little push, suck a lot of people in, and this is a massive probability. I'd have to say probably over 80% probability now. This is going to be a final high before they reverse it on your ass and dump it on your ass, right? I'm going to dump it on your ass. So looking at that level through there, that's that high point. If we have a look at some trend lines, I'm going to draw some trend lines here when looking at Apple to see where we actually could be getting ready for some levels through here, right, guys? Because we just need to be ready for where potentially we could actually find the market pulling back to. Again, we're just too far away from the moving average once again, but we're just so steep in the move. The market loves to do this here, so push, and then a reversal. If I go back to the 6-month view worth of charts, let's go back to the 1 year here for a minute. Okay, so again, we had a lot of trend lines on this chart here. That's not going to be the one that I want to use. So let's actually go to this one here, to this one here. So again, Apple may only get a pullback. So this is, again, guys, yeah, this is probably going to be a false breakout move and then a pullback. It looks like, isn't that interesting, right? Remember this level through here that I just drew? That's that big long-term. See that resistance here, right? So we've got the resistance there, right? The resistance there, the resistance here, the resistance here, and also the resistance here. So that's that trend line coming out through. Again, that's that ultimate high point through there. So if we look at Apple, Apple could indeed be looking at possibly looking at a pullback towards. So right now we could see a pullback of, say, of 11% or so on Apple, looking back towards this level all through here. So we could expect that over the next 30 days or so, coming down through there. So that's what I'm looking at from there. And again, isn't it interesting that that's the 50 to 60% level, but it also goes inside of that level there. So it just makes sense to me that we get a pullback here, and then away we go from there in the markets from there. So that's what we're seeing from that point of view, from there to there. Is again, that's what we're seeing from there, right? This whole level of support when it comes to Apple. Let's go look at Microsoft. So Microsoft is another one that we can see here. So this is obviously a big, again, look what Microsoft did. Rallied right up to where? That ultimate high point, and then failed. In fact, look what happened here. So that level through there was where the market, it actually rallied up but couldn't close there. But look what happened recently. Rallied up, closed above it, and now we're getting reversal. So looking at that level through there, we could looking at some levels here of Microsoft. We could possibly be seeing maybe, let's actually extend that to the right. So possibly I would say that level through there. Let's actually see if there's actually a bit of a channel going on in place here. Okay, so there is. All right, so there is a bit of a channel going on through here from there to there, right? So that's actually a beautiful channel there. So once again, guys, this is the same sort of thing, right? See how it's the same sort of thing by looking at this level. It's the reason why we have this level up here. Let me take that off the screen. If indeed the market does get back down towards into this level through here, then remember I said before, when we do get false breakouts, if we do start to see this level through here and then we get a breaking back down, we're likely to continue down to the other side of the channel for this pullback anyway. If I have a look at the Fibonacci levels for this one here, from the low to the high point, and isn't it just a quinky dink, right? Look at that, what a quinky dink. Look at all that, and that's all that resistance. So we had all this resistance back here, a little bit of a support level through here. That's that 50 to 60% level, but that also goes inside of what? The level through here. So it just makes sense that we actually get a pullback, or when we do get a pullback, that we get a pullback towards this level all through here, because that's that resistance and then that resistance. Again, just a pullback, guys, and then we're probably going to see a big move up from there. So especially, once again, guys, especially the Nasdaq, the tech stocks, looking at on the tech stocks there, guys, tech stocks are just really, oh, it looks like Apple actually closed the gap. I mean, Microsoft, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. It actually did. It actually closed the gap today. Ooh, look at that, right? So we can see, so Facebook actually closed its gap today. Facebook has been on just a tear to the upside. We can't use any channel from here. The only thing I can use is possibly, especially Apple. Apple's in a huge bubble right now. And we're probably likely to see a really good pullback. From the ultimate low point to ultimate high point, that's through there. The last pullback was there. There's actually a bit of a gap. So we still have a bit of a gap here to fill. Isn't that interesting? But then we have the 50 to 60% level, which is that level through there. Interesting. So the 50 to 60% level from this move down, is that gap level through there. So possibly we could actually see a move back down towards this 50 to 60% level through here. Again, so that's a that's a 20 or so % drop in Facebook. So we're probably going to get that, guys, over the next couple of months. What you will start to see, traders, is you'll start to see things go in cycles, right? We start to see things in cycles. So the cycles that I'm talking about here is that whatever's actually been doing really well in the last 6 months is probably going to go through what? We go through cycles. We go through doing well, not doing well, doing well, not doing well, doing well, not doing well, right? All this sort of stuff in the markets. And so that's what we start to see across the markets itself and what's going on there. So that's probably what we're likely to see through there in the good old Meta as well too. And NVDA is the next one. This one here is just on a super charge to the upside. So let's actually bring up, again, just looking at the moving average where we are right now. Just when we're looking at the sort of maximum distance away, guys, that was sort of the maximum distance away from there to there, as you can see. Let me just make that thicker. Maximum distance away. This one here was the maximum distance away before we actually got really overextended. And look where we are now, right? It's the maximum. It's the biggest it's been. It's been the maximum distance away now. We're over way overextended. So we're probably likely to get that pullback happening real soon. Out of this one here, we have a huge gap, which is probably likely to get filled, guys, over the next couple of months, I would say. Coming back down through there to there. Let's look at some Fibonacci. Actually, you know what? Yeah, some Fibonacci levels from this ultimate low to ultimate high point. Wow. So we could indeed start to see possibly even a pullback towards these levels from there. That's that 50 to 60% level, which is just a nice healthy pullback overall, guys. Nothing too much, nothing too big there. If we look at the 1 year worth of data, and then we pull that from there to there, and let's actually just extend this to the right. Let's actually extend that to the right so we can see that through there. Do we have any channel going on here? We actually do as well too, right? So that's actually a bit of a channel that was in place there. And then we had this move to the upside. So looking at that, that's a bit of a gap close. And then we have that through there. We could, let me take off the moving average now. We could actually see this one here ultimately have a bit of a pullback because it's just oversold, right? Oversold. It's just overbought. Right, so this is just overbought, right? All we need to do, guys, is just come back into some equilibrium before we get going again. It's too much. All we need is just a bit of a pullback now to get some equilibrium going, and then we'll probably have another big move to the upside. This AI bubble has just gotten way overbought through here. So just pretty crazy when it comes to these tech stocks through here, guys. Again, so that's probably what we're going to see through there when it comes to NVIDIA over the next month or two. We're probably likely to see a pullback down towards this level through here. I wouldn't be too surprised, guys, if this is actually a bit of a false breakout to the upside. I wonder if... Right, we could actually have something going on through there as well too, right? So that actually could be something as well too, but that's actually a bit of a steeper one, isn't it? A much steeper one. So we may actually just get that one through there, but these are the levels that I'm going to use here for my 50% level and these channels through here. We are way overextended, so expect some form of a pullback coming real soon, guys. We're getting to that point now, so expect a level of pullback through there. That's what I'm seeing from that perspective there from the video. Let's go have a look at silver now. And silver, once again, is actually at these levels through here, really strong. Got all these low levels through here, this low level through here as well too, and we have this sort of support level through here as well on silver. If we have a look at this weekly charts here, if we have a look at the weekly charts, right, and we see we have a low level through here. So silver's really holding this level through here quite strongly on the silver price through there. If we go to the daily charts, then we can actually see that if indeed we're holding here now. Now remember, this was the significant low point on the weekly charts. This could be a significant low point on the weekly charts. If indeed we do break back up through level through here, guys, we're probably likely to see a really big move to the upside looking at the silver there. And now last but least, guys, looking at gold. Gold's looking really strong, guys. Looking at these weekly charts once again, really strong looking at gold. Low, higher low. We could be getting another higher low through here soon. One thing I'm watching for with gold is that looking at this level through here, if we do start to get some sort of a break above this level through here, above 2000, then we can possibly see this movement back to the upside and break into new highs. So there we go, traders. A bit of a wrap of what's been happening this week and what's going on right now and my thoughts moving forward. We're probably likely to start to see, after this long weekend happening, we're probably likely to start to see a bit of a pullback happening with the markets, right? We've had a bit of a short-term push to the upside. And now we're probably likely to see everything start to sell off leading into the rest of this month and then into next month as well too. Especially the tech sector there, guys. We're probably likely to see really big moves on a really big pullback in the market. It's just a nice healthy pullback, but as I said before at the start of this video, that I am expecting to see the S&P 500 to make a new high by the end of this year. So there we go, traders. Make sure you click on that very first thing in the description there, guys. Go try out my coaching program for 30 days. You learn my trading system, get access to my scanning process, get access to my coaching as well too. Join my private community, test it all out for free for the first 30 days. Go to that right now, guys. First thing in the description, and I'll see you real soon.